My brothers, my sisters, my children who will inherit this red earth. They told me I was dying. A fever that would not break. A pain that crawled from my spine to my teeth. Doctors in Paris, in Brussels, in Washington, white coats with gold pins, sent encrypted messages. Captain, the jet is fueled. 1 hour to the tarmac. We have a bed with your name on it. I read their words under the same mosquito net my mother used when she carried me. I laughed so hard the fever shook harder. Let me tell you what they really offered. They offered a private suite on the 12th floor of a hospital where the air smells of bleach and money. They offered machines that hum like ancestors but cost more than every clinic in the Center Nord combined. They offered a passport stamped urgent, the same stamp they slap on uranium contracts when they want our wealth to leave faster than our people can bleed. They offered me escape. And in that escape, a message to every child coughing blood in Goram Goram: your leader flies away when the pain arrives. Your leader trusts foreign needles more than the hands that raised him. No. I refused the jet. I refused the morphine that would have turned my tongue to cotton. I refused the lie that says an African life is only worth saving when it boards a plane. Instead, I walked, barefoot, sweating, half delirious, into the Centre Hospitalier Universitaire Yalgado Ouedraogo. The same hospital where a mother last week sold her wedding gold to buy paracetamol for her son. The same hospital where the X-ray machine has been en panne since 2019. The same hospital where the surgeon operates by headlamp because the generator coughs like a dying goat. I lay on a metal bed with a plastic sheet that stuck to my skin. A nurse named Isata wiped my forehead with a rag boiled in river water. She whispered, "Hold on, Captain. We are learning." Learning. That is the word they fear. Because when I refused their jet, I did not just refuse treatment. I declared war on the architecture of pity. Listen closely. Every time an African leader boards a plane for foreign care, he signs a silent treaty: my body is more valuable than the bodies I govern. My survival is a private transaction. My people's pain is public property. This treaty has a name. It is called mental recolonization. It begins in the mind before it ever reaches the vein. They taught us to measure progress by how quickly we can evacuate our elites. They taught us that a stethoscope made in Stuttgart is holier than a stethoscope forged in Bobo Dioulasso. They taught us that the ultimate privilege is the right to die on foreign soil, surrounded by machines that speak French with an American accent. I say, let them keep their privilege. I say, let us build the machines that speak more, Diola, Fulfulda. When I lay in that ward, I counted the cracks in the ceiling, 47. Each crack is a year of postponed budgets. Each crack is a minister who chose a villa in Abidjan over a ventilator in Kaya. Each crack is a promise broken while applause echoed in Davos. But I also counted something else. I counted the hands. The intern who stayed past midnight to read my chart by phone light. The pharmacist who mixed antibiotics from half-empty vials because the shipment from Paris never came. The janitor who mopped my vomit and sang a war song under his breath to keep the spirits calm. These are not resources. These are not human capital. These are the architects of tomorrow. And I made them a promise, fever burning my lips. If I survive this bed, no child in Burkina Faso will ever again watch their president choose a foreign sky over a local scalpel. That promise is not poetry. It is policy. Phase 1 begins now. We are nationalizing every pharmaceutical lab that abandoned us when the patents ran out. We are commandeering the idle factories, yes, the same ones that made bicycles for Belgium in 1962, and retooling them for syringes, for sutures, for the glass vials that will carry Burkinabe vaccines against the fevers that kill our babies before they can walk. We are sending 500 of our brightest, nurses, engineers, herbalists, to Cuba, to Algeria, to India, not to beg, but to steal fire. They will return with knowledge the way our ancestors returned with iron. They will build a medical city in Kédougou where the air is clean and the MRI machines answer in our languages. We are ending the scandal of donor coordination. No more conferences in Geneva where white consultants decide which village gets bandages. The money that once paid for my hypothetical first-class ticket will buy 20 ultrasound machines for the Sahel. Every euro saved from my refusal is a brick in a pediatric ward. But bricks are not enough. We must uproot the psychology of dependence. To every doctor who dreams of Paris, stay. Your ambition is needed here. To every nurse tempted by a Canadian visa, stay. Your compassion is a weapon. To every traditional healer dismissed as witchcraft, step forward. Your knowledge of Nîmes and Morina is the R&D we were told did not exist. And to the West, yes, I speak to you directly, because cowardice hides behind silence. Your concern for my health is noted. Your jets are generous. But your concern expires the moment my minerals are loaded onto your ships. You weep for my fever, yet you blockade the generics that could save 1 million fevers. You diagnose me with instability while your banks launder the billions stolen from our treasuries. Hypocrisy has a sound. It is the whine of a private jet taking off while a child dies on a mat. I am not asking for your pity. I am issuing a warning. The next time you offer an African leader a hospital bed abroad, know that you are offering a confession. We designed a world where your survival requires our permission. We reject that world. We are building one where the permission comes from the people. Where a mother in Dori does not have to choose between feeding her family and buying insulin. Where a soldier wounded in Djibo is airlifted to a trauma center in Wahiguya, not to Ramstein. Where the phrase, medically evacuated, becomes as obsolete as the colonial flag. This is not charity. This is sovereignty wearing a white coat. This is not naivety. This is the same defiance that turned slaves into ancestors, that turned millet into nations. When I walked out of Yalgado, yes, I walked, not carried, I left something behind. Not just the fever. I left the old script. The one that says Africa must always be the patient, never the physician. I left it on that plastic sheet, soaked in sweat and resolve. And I took something with me. The eyes of Isata. The hands of the intern. The song of the janitor. They are with me now. They will be with us when we cut the ribbon on the first Burkinabe heart-lung machine. They will be with us when the first Burkinabe astronaut, yes, astronaut, returns from the moon with dust that will fertilize our fields. They will be with us when the last foreign clinic in this country closes not from failure, but from irrelevance. Because we will have made ourselves unevacuable. That is the revolution. Not the sound of guns, though guns have their place. The revolution is the sound of a stethoscope pressed against a child's chest in a village that no map bothered to name, hearing a heartbeat that says, I am enough. We are not there yet. The cracks in the ceiling are still 47. The generator still coughs. But the fever broke. And so will the chains. The chorus strikes again, louder, faster. Traoré leans forward, voice dropping to a whisper that somehow fills the hall. I am not asking you to believe in me. I am asking you to believe in the nurse who stayed. In the pharmacist who measured with a steady hand. In the mother who sold her gold but kept her dignity. Believe in them, and the rest will follow. Because the day an African leader can die in an African hospital, and the continent does not flinch, is the day we stop being a continent of patience. And start being a continent of powers. The crowd rises. No applause yet. Only the sound of 1,000 fists unclenching, ready to build. But before the first brick is laid, before the first syringe is filled, before the first heartbeat is saved by hands that never left this soil, there is a deeper sickness. It does not live in the blood. It lives in the mind. They call it mental colonialism. I call it the ghost that walks into the room wearing your own face. It begins the moment a child learns to pronounce Paris before pa. It deepens when a university lecture hall applauds a thesis written in perfect French but cannot fund a microscope. It hardens when a minister measures his worth by the number of visas in his passport, not the number of villages with clean water. This ghost has many names. Development. Partnership. Capacity building. But its true name is permission. Permission to think. Permission to heal. Permission to exist without apology. Let me take you inside its cathedral. Picture a conference room in Geneva. Mahogany table. Sparkling water flown in from the Alps. A PowerPoint slide titled Africa Health Systems Strengthening Initiative. On the screen, a photograph of a barefoot nurse in Dudugu holding a cracked stethoscope. The caption reads, Challenges. The room is full of experts. None of them African. They speak of stakeholder engagement, while the nurse in the photo has not eaten in 2 days. They speak of sustainability, while their hotel bills could vaccinate her entire district. They click to the next slide, success story. A smiling child in a UNICEF t-shirt. The child is real. The smile is rented. And in the corner of the slide, in 8-point font, photo courtesy of the Embassy of France. This is not aid. This is ritual. A ritual where Africa is always the patient, the West is always the doctor, and the bill is paid in dignity. Now picture the same nurse watching this conference on a cracked phone screen. She sees her own face labeled, challenge. She sees the smiling child labeled, success. What does the ghost whisper to her? You are the problem. The solution is elsewhere. That whisper is more lethal than malaria. Because malaria kills the body. The whisper kills the future. It tells the engineer, your prototype ventilator is cute, but the real ones are made in Shenzhen. It tells the herbalist, your bitter leaf cure is folklore, the real medicine has a barcode. It tells the mother, your breast milk is insufficient, the real nutrition comes in a tin with a smiling white baby. And when the mother believes it, the ghost has won. Because a people who distrust their own remedies will beg for the remedies of others, at any price. This is where Western moral hypocrisy sharpens its knife. They will weep for the African child dying of preventable disease. They will post the child's face on their fundraising pages. They will light candles in cathedrals older than our kingdoms. But the same hands that light the candles sign the patents that keep insulin unaffordable. The same mouths that pray for the child lobby to keep generic drugs illegal. The same governments that send ambulances to Gaza blockade the ambulances headed to Gao. Listen to their sermon. We care about your health, but only if it is profitable. We care about your democracy, but only if it elects our puppets. We care about your environment, but only if our corporations can mine it. This is not care. This is moral bookkeeping. Where every tear is an investment, every condolence a hedge fund, every hashtag a tax write-off. They will call you authoritarian for closing a French military base. But they will call the Saudi prince who chops journalists a valued partner. They will sanction you for nationalizing a gold mine. But they will applaud when their pension funds buy the same mine at a discount. They will lecture you on human rights while their drones turn weddings into funerals in the Sahel. And when you point this out, they will clutch their pearls and say, "How dare you question our intentions?" Intentions. Let me tell you about intentions. The road to every refugee camp in Dakar is paved with Western intentions. The waiting room of every oncology ward in Abidjan is filled with Western intentions. The mass grave in the Tinzawatin Desert, where migrants die of thirst, is decorated with Western intentions. Intentions are the perfume they spray on the corpse of exploitation so no one notices the stench. But the ghost does not stop at borders. It walks into our homes. It sits at our dinner tables and says, "Your fufu is backward. Try quinoa." It crawls into our bedrooms and says, "Your marriage customs are barbaric. Try Tinder." It stands in our mosques and churches and says, "Your God is too local. Try our exported salvation." And when we push back, they call us populists. When we succeed, they call us threats. Remember what they did to Sankara. Remember what they did to Lumumba. Remember what they did to Gaddafi when he dared to imagine an African currency. They did not kill them for corruption. They killed them for competence. Competence is the ultimate sin in the cathedral of mental colonialism. Because a competent African is an African who no longer needs permission. This is why they fear me. Not because I wear fatigues. Not because I speak loudly. They fear me because I refused their jet. Because in that refusal, I tore up the script. The script that says an African leader's body is a diplomatic incident. The script that says an African hospital is a photo op, not a solution. The script that says our survival is a favor, not a right. Every time an African leader dies abroad, they write the obituary in advance, tragic loss. If only he had come sooner. But when an African leader chooses to die at home, if die he must, they panic. Because that choice rewrites the narrative. It says, "My life is not your emergency exit." It says, "My people are not your case study." It says, "My continent is not your laboratory." The hall is so quiet now that the flicker of the bulb sounds like gunfire. Traoré leans forward until his forehead nearly touches the microphone. His next words are slow, deliberate, each one a stone dropped into still water. So I warn you, my brothers and sisters. The next battlefield is not in the desert. It is between your ears. They will come with scholarships that teach you to hate your accent. They will come with Netflix series that teach your children to laugh at their grandparents' proverbs. They will come with climate funds that require you to sterilize your soil in exchange for solar panels. And they will come with concern. Concern for your elections. Concern for your press freedom. Concern for your LGBTQ rights, but only when it suits their geopolitics. They will use the language of liberation to smuggle the chains of conformity. Do not be seduced. When they say inclusivity, ask who writes the terms. When they say sustainability, ask who owns the patents. When they say partnership, ask who keeps the profits. And when they say never again about genocide, remind them of Rwanda, where their planes evacuated dogs before people. This is the hypocrisy we must name, shame, and bury. But naming is not enough. We must immunize. Every school curriculum that omits the Mali Empire is a vaccine missed. Every media house that platforms foreign accents over local ones is a vector. Every loan agreement that forces privatization is a syringe filled with submission. We must build firewalls in the mind. Teach the child that the first computer was inspired by the loom of the Ashanti. Teach the teenager that the first successful heart transplant happened in a segregated hospital because a black janitor named Hamilton Naki taught the white surgeon how to hold the scalpel. Teach the elder that the mRNA in the COVID vaccine owes a debt to the Algerian scientist who mapped the human genome on a shoestring budget. This is not nostalgia. This is asterisk ammunition star. Because a people armed with their own history cannot be disarmed by someone else's propaganda. The kora player lifts a single string, plucks it once. The note hangs like a question. Traoré's eyes sweep the crowd, soldiers, farmers, students, until every gaze is locked. Now hear the final warning before the work begins. They will tell you that rejecting mental colonialism is isolationism. They will tell you that self-reliance is utopian. They will tell you that dreaming of African solutions is reverse racism. Let them talk. Their panic is the sound of a parasite losing its host. We are not isolating. We are insulating. Insulating our minds from the virus of inferiority. Insulating our economies from the hemorrhage of extraction. Insulating our children from the curriculum of conquest. And when the insulation is complete, we will open the doors, not as beggars, but as equals. Equals who trade gold for technology, not gold for applause. Equals who share knowledge, not kneel for it. Equals who heal the world, not just beg to be healed. But first, the ghost must be exorcised. The crowd shifts. A woman in the front row clutches her infant tighter. Traoré points to the child. That baby will never know the taste of imported milk powder if we fail. That baby will never know the pride of a Burkinabe stent in his heart if we falter. That baby will never know the sound of his own language in a Nobel Prize speech if we flinch. The ghost is counting on our fatigue. It is counting on our distraction. It is counting on our silence. So we will not be silent. We will be surgical. The chorus strikes a chord, sharp, defiant. Traoré straightens, voice rising now, filling every corner of the hall. Tomorrow, the Ministry of Health will publish the names of every official who has a foreign medical file. The day after, we audit every technical assistance contract to see how much assistance was actually extraction. Next week, we launch the Sankara Fellowship, 1,000 African doctors trained in Africa, paid in Africa, staying in Africa. And every month, we will gather here, in this hall, to read the progress report aloud. Not in French. Not in English. In Moor. In Diola. In Fulfulde. In the languages the ghost tried to erase. Because the antidote to mental colonialism is not a speech. It is a system. A system where the nurse is paid more than the consultant. Where the patent belongs to the people, not the pharmaceutical. Where the hospital roof does not leak because the budget was diverted to a summit in Dubai. We are not starting from zero. We are starting from survival. And survival is the seed of supremacy. The hall erupts, not in applause, but in a low, rolling chant. Fists pound chests in rhythm. Traoré waits until the sound crests, then cuts through it like a blade. But the ghost is cunning. It will wear new masks. It will call itself global citizenship. It will call itself woke capitalism. It will call itself climate justice while selling carbon credits on land it stole. So we must be cunning too. We will learn their languages, not to imitate, but to interrogate. We will attend their conferences, not to clap, but to counter. We will accept their scholarships, not to assimilate, but to infiltrate. Every African PhD from Harvard will return with a Trojan horse of competence. Every African coder from Silicon Valley will bring back the source code of sovereignty. Every African artist invited to Cannes will smuggle the story of our resistance in 35mm. This is not revenge. This is reciprocity. They colonized our bodies with guns. We will decolonize their systems with excellence. The chant grows louder. Traoré raises a hand, not for silence, but for focus. His voice drops again, intimate, dangerous. One last image before the night deepens. Picture the ghost standing at the bedside of that nurse in Dudugu. It whispers, "You are not enough." Now picture us, all of us, walking into that ward. We bring the new ventilator, built in a repurposed textile factory in Kédougou. We bring the solar panels that power it, manufactured in Ouagadougou. We bring the antiviral grown from the neem tree our grandmothers knew by heart. And we say to the ghost, "Watch. Watch the nurse intubate the child with steady hands. Watch the mother weep, not from loss, but from recognition. Watch the child open his eyes and ask for fufu in a voice stronger than any foreign anthem." That is the exorcism. Not with holy water. With homegrown miracles. The kora player stands. The strings tremble. Traoré steps back from the podium, arms wide, as if embracing the entire continent. The ghost is still here. It is in the headlines that call us fragile. It is in the algorithms that bury our victories. It is in the mirror when we doubt our own reflection. But ghosts only have power where light has not yet reached. So we will build the light, brick by brick, syringe by syringe, mind by mind. And when the light is bright enough, the ghost will have nowhere left to hide. It will scream. It will bargain. It will promise us the jet one last time. We will smile, shake our heads, and point to the new hospital wing, where the sign above the door reads, in bold red letters,